Yeah, welcome to the Chocolate-Gourmet-Festival from Hanover. My name is Michaela Schupp from Schokolade, and my guests today are from England, Bob and Iris Solkiki. And welcome, thank you for joining. And thank you for sharing your story, especially your chocolate story. I don't want to talk too much, and I just hand over the words to you. Thank you.
We're Solkiki chocolate maker. It's just us in the company. I'm Iris.
I'm Bob.
Yes, it's Bob.
And we do it all from sourcing to shipping, repairs to recipes, tastings to taxes, social media and everything else. This is
Yes, we do not. I know we have a lot of bars. I don't know if you know our brand. We have a lot of bars in our assortment, but it's still just the two of us. We do work an awful lot as well, I have to say. But anyway, so we make our own chocolate. So we from the bean, and we bring it all here to Dorset in the UK. We live very rurally.
About an hour from Stonehenge and Glastonbury, about 40 minutes from the coast, and yeah, really an hour from anywhere. Bristol, Exeter, Salisbury, Bournemouth. It keeps us out of trouble and really focused on chocolate. There's nothing else to do.
We are a little bit in the middle of nowhere here, it's true.
But it's a consuming passion. We started in 2008, sort of.
Yeah.
Iris was trying to create a vegan, a dairy-free white chocolate worth eating. And I was on business in San Francisco, of course, a great place to find decent chocolate. And I picked up some Emano and some Ashkenazi bars.
Okay.
We both loved dark. We both loved dark chocolate. Some of my earliest memories are about eating too much dark chocolate from the family shop, and some of Iris's first childhood experiments were trying to make chocolate in your time away from school. So we've had this sort of affiliation with chocolate, and he's kind of set us on our journey. We discovered craft chocolate. There's more than one type of chocolate bean. Yeah. That was new. That was big news. Well, these are natural flavors. This was huge news. And at the same time, Iris started experimenting whites.
Yes. I've been vegan now for 25 years, about that.
Okay.
At the time when I started, the book just said, because I was looking for a vegan white chocolate and there was nothing on the market at the time. So this is obviously why we started experimenting. And it sort of makes sense to keep on going this way. And Bob became vegan too. So, to use dairy, we didn't use it at all, but we did want the variety, and we also wanted the quality, the flavor to be really, really good. The first chocolate that we created was a white chocolate, and I wanted to make the flavor as I remembered it, although I'm not really sure. I think it's much better, to be honest, than what I used to eat when I was a child. But anyway, so we made a white chocolate, which I thought was really good, and we sort of took it from there. We thought, this is interesting, and maybe we can, make milk chocolate. Maybe we can mix another few bits and things through it and see how it goes. And this is how we started, and then we started roasting and looking into different varieties as well. We moved to Canada as well in the meantime, and we bought some beans through Alchemy John, which he was well known in the industry, which helped us also on our way, just experiment. We could buy lots of small batches and discover about flavors, which was really good fun.
To begin with, Iris wanted to regain the cost of the molds and the cost of the ingredients selling on eBay. I
set out to make a business.
I was working in the video games world, in a different thing entirely. Which is what took us to Canada, took us to Quebec and Montreal.
Yeah.
So it took us a few more years of experimenting, and finding the right sort of equipment, the right sort of people to work with, the right ingredients, the recipes, to get really brave enough to relocate to Britain in 2014, to renovate the workshop, to two 400-year-old cottages from an old castle estate outside Sherborne. Haven't been touched for about 150 years. They've been in the same family for that long.
Wow.
Found them. We knew what we wanted to do. We must have seen over 3,000 properties on the internet. We toured all the way from Hull to Plymouth, all across England, looking at places to build the dream. And we found it in my home county. My friends and family are still just an hour away on the coast where I grew up. We were lucky enough to do it. And 2015, and about 10, 15 kilos lighter, after the stress and physical activity of bringing the cottages back into shape, we were in position to have a little workshop, a five-star council approval for hygiene, and a 5-star soulful approval from us for the character of the building is still intact. It's still very warm and ancient feeling. But then we launched the Christmas of 2015, and 2016. We launched with Marignon, which was a difficult bar, a difficult bean to work with, temperamental. And 2016, we took the gold for Britain with this bar, the 68,
yes,
which
people
thought about chocolate the same way we did, which was a huge sort of reassurance to us. We tasted an awful lot of chocolate in the preceding 6, 7, 8 years, and we knew that we were in a sort of a good spot.
Okay, so you more or less experimented and step after step.
It was a long an 8-year incubation.
Yeah, long time. But it was nice because there was no pressure. I mean, it was just initially we started for us. I did start selling chocolate back in 2008. I actually sold it on eBay, but it was just to get, like Bob said, to get the money back for the molds and sort of to justify for myself. It just seemed like such a how do you say, like such an exuberant thing to do. Extravagant, yeah, to make chocolate, and I needed to justify to myself. I thought if I at least get the money back a little bit, I can continue on with this hobby. So this is so that's how we started.
Okay. So how much do you produce in a day or a week?
Well, it depends. Obviously, if we make it every day, often, at the moment, now chocolate season has just started, I would say we're producing every day. So
yeah, I'd say probably an average of about 1,000 bars.
Yeah, something
a week.
Like that.
We can,
okay.
I mean, an average week could be maybe 500 bars. If we're taking it easy, 1,000 is pretty busy.
Yeah, or if it's low season.
And we can go to 2,000, 2,500 if we really have to, but not. I don't like doing that for more than 1 or 2 weeks. It's just the two of us. And we do this, I come back to the 68 again. This is a 2-ingredient bar, beans and sugar. There's no added cocoa butter. It's 32% sugar in this bar. A tempering machine cannot temper this, cannot create this. It's too viscous, it's too thick. So
it's very thick one.
It's at the limit of Iris's technical ability with her hands. 67 tastes quite good. It's just too thick. Yeah. So everything is done by hand.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm sure some people cannot imagine that how you do all this by hand. If you look at all the supermarket products, which is a completely different world, of course. So
even our friends and peers in the UK, I think all the other craft makers are using tempering machines. At the moment, I'm not aware of anyone who still hand tempers, so it's quite simple. And I'd say, this is why we like to keep it around 1,000 bars a week, because it is a lot of skill and a lot of effort involved. But it really opens up when you step away from the tempering machines. You have such a bigger playing field to explore.
Yeah.
Toasted coconut, the hazelnut creams down to the 28, 30% mark. Super slick. I'm not sure how they would fare in a tempering machine either. So at both ends of the spectrum, it gives us a really big canvas to paint on.
So, and what is your favorite bar?
The one that I'm eating currently. So, it's one of our news releases, and it's just so much fun.
It's a really nice bar as well, though. But it's usually I like to eat whatever I made last.
Yes. I honestly don't like the question myself because it keeps changing. The more chocolates I eat and the more I get to know my taste, it changes all the time.
And you must get asked all the time as well, because we
Yes.
get asked a lot. And sometimes I think, okay, I'm going to answer it now, but then I change my mind.
Yeah.
The thing is, there's only 2 of us here at the business, and so everything that we sell is really important to both of us. We both sort of approve it at the highest level. It's been researched a lot. There's lots of work,
lots of trying, always
behind
trying.
each bar,
Yeah.
and so there's a really powerful personal reason to bring each bar to market. Although we have 40 different bars, 45 different bars, they're all there for a particular reason.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, this is illegal. This isn't dark chocolate. We can't sell it as milk chocolate. We can't sell it as white chocolate. Beans, coffee beans, sugar and cocoa butter. It's illegal. It doesn't fit into any classification.
Well, you may not call it chocolate, maybe, but you can still call it a bar. Simply a bar.
A cocoa butter bar.
Cocoa butter bar.
This is incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
Incredibly difficult to tease the flavors that we found in Maragnon into this bar. This is an incredible achievement for us. So I'm very excited about this bar. Likewise, the 70. It's unroasted, but we don't disguise that with coconut sugar or molasses. We use unrefined cane, which is uncommon for an unroasted bar. But it puts the Maragnon in the spotlight. Very, very clear flavours from an unroasted cacao. I don't think anyone else does this. It's normally coconut sugar or molasses, brown sugar, but unrefined cane. This is a powerful reason for the 70. We love each bar.
Yeah. How do you choose if you create a new bar? How do you choose what beans to use, or how do you do that? You just order, you buy some beans from, I don't know, friends or people you know or people you met, and then you just start making the chocolate. I like that.
It could be either of those things, and we get approached quite a lot as well.
People often send us.
Yeah, that we get approached quite a bit as well, and then we try. Sometimes people just ask us, "Could you please try our beans?" Even if you don't want to try them, just to evaluate them and tell us your thoughts. So we do that quite a bit as well, and then come back, or if you know, just to see what we would do with them, or if we would use them, or why we wouldn't use them. It's not always easy, because I like to be honest.
Yeah, just last week.
We are very, very, very critical as well. So.
Honest.
Well, yeah.
What with high standards.
Yeah, absolutely. So you know, so we do our best, but it depends. The beans can come to us from all kinds of directions, and if it's really good, I mean, you know, we know when we have something, when we make some tests and we think, oh, this is just amazing. Well, then we continue with it. Yeah. But yeah, Esmeraldas was a nice. So we're the first in Europe to use Esmeraldas, so that was really good fun.
Been sampling. Been asking for Ecuadorian farmers have been delivering samples for about 18 months. We've been asking for samples from other estates for about 18 months. Yeah. We've been through 15, 16 Ecuadorian cacaos.
But that was the best one we found. But you can't say no then if you find something that's that good.
Plus the team,
it's the same with Maragnon
Freddie
well.
And the team behind it, it's a wonderful team to support, a wonderful bean to support. We bring in half a ton to the cottages, and 6 months later it cleans up, you know, World Top 20 at the Cacao of Excellence program. And we picked it blind, which was either we're lucky or, you know, we share the same sort of aspirations as the panel there.
But it's ethical as well. Obviously, it's very important to us that we know what's going on at the farms, and and that they're transparent about where it comes from. If we don't know where something comes from, or people are being a bit strange or vague, or
we're so agile, Michaela.
Then we're not interested.
We're such an agile little team. If we want to do that thing tomorrow, we can just do it. We can, and we'll bring it out on Sunday or Monday, and we'll have a taste. And so
good.
There's no long term. It's just wherever our heart takes us.
Yeah, that's good.
It's all driven by flavour, really.
And sometimes it's just people we meet at the chocolate fairs, which we really miss, by the way, at the moment, because they seem to be all cancelled for the near future, or maybe even, I don't like to say it, for the longer future, but it's really, I love those places, because you obviously get to try lots of chocolate, which is always a good thing, but you also meet lots of people,
so nice,
and you can ask so many questions, and I really love it, and it just, I don't know, it's always so inspiring. Always come back with so many ideas and excitement, you know, just to keep on working and keep on trying new things.
Right, just inspiration. Inspiration's everywhere. It really is.
Yeah.
We did our festival here in Hanover 5 years. We couldn't do it last year because we didn't have a location. And this year we found a location, but then this nice virus came around the corner, and we had to cancel everything. And it's still not, well, we couldn't do it the way we wanted to do it. So we said, okay, let's try and do it online, see how that works. So
we are very proud, very honoured to be part of this lovely ceremony.
Yeah,
Event. I mean, it's a world first. It's the biggest. We're doing. There's a few going on. There's a few going on in the running to year's end, but this is certainly the biggest, and we're delighted to be part of it.
Yeah, thank you. So as a next step, we will be tasting 3 of your chocolates, and we will be back for that in a few minutes. So thank you, and see you in a minute. Thank you. Bye-bye. Hello. Iris and Bob, are you there? Or are you still chatting with Monica about Janduja?
Can you hear us?
Hang on, I
can hear you.
And
I can see you.
Hi. We wanted to talk longer. We loved the chat with Monica, and we really wanted to ask a few more questions, but I think I'm going to have to bother her privately, I guess.
Yes.
It's too long, and really fun talk she gave. We liked it.
Yes, very good. Well, I'm happy that you're interested in, and I'm absolutely sure she can answer all your questions and help you.
We liked a lot of the talks. We've seen a lot of the talks this weekend, and we're very much in awe with you, with how you've been doing it, and
Thank you.
Hard or going into a coma, eating all that chocolate.
We'll be trying to keep up.
No, we've been eating chocolate as well. I couldn't eat all the same chocolates, but we've done our best to keep up with you.
Okay, we'll have 3 more now. Now it's your chocolates.
Thank you.
Which one shall we use? I would definitely like to taste the winner chocolate from the European Awards, the Costa Esmeraldas.
Oh yeah, where do you want to start?
And what else? Shall we have the So Woke?
So Woke?
Yeah.
Which is not chocolate?
No, it's not. It's not.
And what else? This one?
We're going to try the 70 as well, or just
70
the
or the 68?
68? That's the
68?
Yeah, 68. That's the darkest one of the batch, then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Which one first? I guess.
So Woke. Yeah, I think you're keen for the So Woke. I think we should do the So Woke.
Okay. Now, maybe you could explain again what it is. First of all, I must say, I do like your packaging. You have outside, you're giving a lot of information, and inside again, this is like.
Yes, that's right. You won't be bored with us.
No, I am absolutely sure. I know.
Sometimes with the mail order, we sell 1 bar. It's always free postage in the kingdom. And if someone buys a single bar, we want to give them, you know, as much information as we can.
Yes.
So each packaging is, we try to tell the story, but also, you know, position the bars in the correct sort of way, and really, you know, help people appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely. Kann mir einer von euch eine Schere besorgen, bitte?
Yes, our bags are not easy to get into.
Yes, I'm just asking someone to give me a scissors. That's easier.
The top is better than the bottom if you're going to rip it. If anybody else has got a bar, always easier from the top than the bottom. Or get some scissors. That will work too.
Get some scissors. Smells like a coffee. Good coffee. Good roasted coffee.
Oh, it's amazing coffee.
It's unwashed. Ethereum from the Great Taste competition last year did very well.
Mm-hmm.
It's so fruity, it's so funky. I say it's not washed, so it's kept those natural wild flavors. This particular
You're talking about the coffee now.
About the coffee.
Yeah.
Yes. We have a coffee school next door.
We make 5 coffee bars at Solkiki. We have the Chef is another one. Did really well. Lovely. Did really well at the competition the other year. And this is more of a study in balance and subtlety, and with our house blend and our Maraba. 71% took a gold for Europe in the ICA the other year, and again a study in balance, cacao and coffee, and with this bar it's all about the coffee.
Yes, it's very good coffee, I can tell.
Maybe towards the second half of the melt, as the chocolate really warms up and starts to deliver the full range of flavors, perhaps you'll sense the butter, really fruity butter.
From Madagascar. Madagascar, cocoa butter.
We are changing that.
Mm-hmm.
We have a wonderful new butter coming from Peru. This batch, I'm not sure whether you have the Peruvian or the Madagascar. They're both very fruity. And as the coffee subsides,
they have the similarities, but it really helps accentuate the fruity notes that are in the in the coffee as well. And the coffee is just so nice. It's got such gentle flavors. Even, well, I know the coffee, it's got almost peachy like flavors in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it really carries through, and a little bit like champagne like for me. Yeah, the coffee is just so nice, and it goes so well together with the cocoa butter and bringing out the fruitiness, and there's no bitterness from the coffee.
Yes, absolutely. And no over roast.
Over roast, no, it's really, really good. And it's really great if you need a little, if you need to be, need a bit of energy at the end of a festival and you've done a lot of tasting.
You can't spill it.
Yes.
You can't burn yourself.
Yes, that's true.
You put it in your pocket all day long. The same way pork pies were invented for huntsmen, and corn pasties were invented for the miners, taking a sustainable food down into the pit. So shall it be?
You have to be careful not to it doesn't get too warm, because then it will melt.
Yeah, you can't not carry on your body. Maybe in a bag.
Yes.
Okay. A few hundred years ago, people were drinking chocolate, and now chocolate is often commonly consumed as a bar. And maybe the same thing could happen with coffee.
Yeah, we talk about that sometimes. We think that people should go back to eating their coffee like in this sort of form, rather than drinking their coffee. And also one thing obviously about the bar, why it's not chocolate, is there is no milk powder in it. I forgot to say that earlier. There's no milk powder in this bar, so there's obviously no dairy, because we don't use any dairy, but there's also no plant-based milk in it. So officially, well, we can't call it white chocolate. So we call this a cocoa butter bar.
And it's not for us to own. it's for the makers of the world to explore. It's not a proprietary thing.
No, it's not an official term anywhere, cocoa butter bars, but we think, well,
it's been done before.
Yeah, we made a few more, but I think maybe people will be making them more in the future, cocoa butter bars. We've been calling the cocoa butter bars. We've been searching for a better term, but if you know it, please let me know what the best description would be.
I'll think about it.
Just think about it. Let us know if you know. We ask people sometimes, but nobody really knows what to call them. I think cocoa butter bar, because this is just 3 ingredients. It's just cocoa butter, coffee and sugar. There's nothing else.
I didn't like the term to begin with, but over the months it's grown on me.
Because it sounds a bit fatty, maybe.
Butter bar.
Like a meat butter. But then again, maybe it's more precise to the name. So I'm open for suggestions. And we will use it on the packaging as well.
Just what you need at 5 o'clock on a Sunday. Hopefully.
What you should do is do a competition out of this.
Well, that's a good idea. Yeah, give everybody
find the name.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea at all.
Do it on your Instagram followers.
I understand. Yeah.
Will you help us choose a finalist?
Oh yes.
Thank you. Great idea.
Love to. Okay, it brings out the coffee flavor very nicely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you drink coffee yourself? Do you drink coffee yourself? Do you feel your heart?
But I like it because it's not over roasted, and so it's not burnt. And I love the smell of coffee for some reason, but I don't like to drink it. I don't know.
We don't drink it either.
We don't drink it either. No, I only like it.
Oh, see? Interesting.
I don't like to eat it, yes.
I can feel already I can feel my heart racing a little bit.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, it does affect me.
Let's get this competition going for the name.
I like it.
Let's do it.
I'm sure we will find something.
Thank you.
So what are we tasting next? The 64?
64.
Yeah.
Yes, I have to eat some bread after the coffee.
Yeah, have some bread. So this is the 64. I'm just showing it.
Bring it
So this is the dark closer.
Yeah, let's get the name in there.
Where's the camera thingy? Sorry,
there you go.
Where's that thing? Oh.
There we go. It's a cacao of excellence from Ecuador. I think it's the only Ecuadorian bean to get that badge this year. Certainly top 20.
Yeah.
The only Ecuadorian to do so well. And insanely dark. It's such a fun cacao to work with. We have 4 different Peruvians in the range, and they're all quite light, 50% blonde, 40% blonde beans. And so to move to Ecuador, it's a really black bar. Look at that. That's 64%.
Yes.
That's dark milk.
You can't hardly see anything.
I just like to also show your mold.
Yeah,
it's really nice.
Closer?
It's hard to see.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Let's have a look.
Oh, we can do it.
Yeah, we can do it here. Fine.
As well.
There we go.
Yes.
See if we can get a bit of light on there.
Who's this lady?
Oh, that's my. That's our daughter.
Ah, okay.
It's I just made a drawing of her one day at the beach. She is a girl who's very shy, and she always likes to hide in hoods or anything. And even on the street, you walked with her, and she still does it a little bit. She's now 13, but she was 7 then. And when we were on the beach, she had her hair, and she went into the water, and she came out, and she refused to take it off. And it's a very typical image of her. And I drew it. I thought that it's just a fun little image. So we thought we'd put it, since it's very much a family business. It's
and
just
of course,
the 2 of us. So I decided to have that picture on the on the bag.
That's Kiki.
Yeah. Nice idea. So getting back to the chocolate, 64%. So it's quiet now. Everybody waiting for me to say something. Fruit. A lot of fruit. Flowers. So the fruit is both citrusy, but there's also some, let's say, darker fruit, dark red plums or cashews, maybe, nuts, and chocolate.
We have a really fine sprinkling of spice, that the Ecuadorian, typical Ecuadorian national, just along the top of everything.
Yeah.
Oh, it's still there, and it remains on my palate. It's almost like lemonade. It's almost effervescent, like a fizziness, a tingle.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I love it, and I love typical of the Ecuadorian cacao as well as the thick chocolatiness that it has. And in this case, what we love so much about this cacao is that it has the fruitiness in there, and it reminded us of black currants, or forest fruit flavor. Oh, it was just so nice, but it was so well balanced, the chocolate, and then a little bit of spice, and then a bit of forest fruit, sort of coming.
Sparkly citrus, but the plums, black currants.
Yeah.
Yes, and no sign of any high roast or something. It's very nicely done.
Yeah.
So no dark or no woody flavors, nothing. It's really nicely, it's a very clear chocolate bar, I think.
Clean chocolate.
The finish is very enjoyable. The chocolate's long gone, but the sensations persist.
Yeah, but also the aftertaste is very important. I mean, I always like to, when I try new chocolate, I taste it, clean palate, and then I wait and see how long it lasts, and what the aftertaste are, because I still get a sort of a chocolatey or a chocolate pudding type of aftertaste, which is really lovely. And I think a good chocolate should stay with you for a long time.
Yes, absolutely.
In a pleasant way.
Not bitter.
And not in a sick
sour,
way, obviously, yes.
Not astringent, not
Yeah.
burned.
No, it's nice.
One took the gold this year in the alternative category.
Yeah, well deserved.
And I can't see a
absolutely.
flaw. I'm very pleased everyone enjoyed it.
It had lots of awards, but I can't remember what
It's
we won.
a gold, the Golden Taste of the West in the UK. Prince Charles's sort of organisation, Southwest, and that feeds us to Waitrose and Ocado if we want to. Not interested. Thousands of bars a day and whatever. So gold there, and 2 stars at Great Taste.
Now with the International Chocolate Awards, we won 4 awards, but I can't remember. It was vegan,
directly traded, chocolate maker gold, and the gold.
Yeah,
and these are the very interesting for us to get recognised by the ICA.
Of course, it was a really great honour.
Serious chocolate people.
Now you have to enter it for the world final.
We must. We have
yes.
Some of the Peruvian butter is flying. It's in the air at the moment. Our big shipment has been delayed from the start of September to the start of October to the end of October to the start of December. So it's been delayed.
We had to postpone the festival because so many deliveries just didn't work. Because there are less flights because less business, and it's a big problem. Some airports are still closed.
Yes.
Some countries are still closed.
Yes.
Completely.
Yes.
So
we're very happy
sometimes you're not aware of the full supply chain. So if chocolate makers can't get beans, they can't make chocolate, not produce. So yes, and we are out of stock as well.
I do think we're still lucky living in countries who are very well developed and well connected, and from what I've been hearing, so I'm sort of lucky in that respect. But yeah,
Yes.
it's a very, very strange time. I can't wait for it to be over. I don't think it will be quick, but I hope so.
No, I don't think so either. I think we'll have to live with it. Well, anyway, we'll have to live with it. The virus is not going to disappear, but I think we have to adapt and find a way to live with it.
I love these events. We are, we're stuck at the cottages. The children, the cacao, Iris and I don't need much more really, but it's nice. It's nice. It's so nice to be able to connect. And
Yes.
we've seen you at the festivals in London before. We're exhausted, tasting and talking and sampling and try this, try that. It's really nice to have at least some sort of Zoom contact, and hopefully we'll carry on these tastings in Facebook and the Facebook.
I'm sure I will, certainly. So
really cool.
We'll do that again.
We're always happy to help.
Can I ask in between, do we have any questions from the audience? I think so, yes.
How do the prizes impact our selling?
Much so.
At the bottom. Yes, it's difficult. It's hard to say. We launched with the gold for the Malignon 68, so we've always had tremendous recognition. I don't know what it is to sell unrecognized bars. It helps justify the technical skill involved in the bar. It helps justify the provenance and the terroir. It helps justify the price, of course. It nods towards ethics, quality and flavor. So I don't think it could be a bad thing.
I do find, well, obviously,
they're personally really motivating when other people understand what we're trying to make, and when other people agree that it's delicious.
For me, well,
yes, but I still think you have to explain and explain and explain.
Oh, it never ends.
The common theme for every interview we've seen this weekend is the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we centuries away from global warming. We haven't started to melt the iceberg yet. We're speaking to the converts this weekend.
But we, as you just said, we just started, so we have to keep going. And I think absolutely it's worthwhile the effort.
It's such an exciting thing to be a part of. There's so many amazing cacaos to discover, so many wonderful farmers to partner with, and some amazing sensations to enjoy. And we've got 45 bars in our core range, 50 or 60 on the website at the moment, probably made and sold over 100 different bars, and we haven't scratched the surface. This is just a flag in the sand. It really is the beginning of
but also
a new age.
Sorry to interrupt you, but it's also a bigger market that is growing. Along the years that we've been making chocolate, we've been seeing the market growing, and I think also with the International Chocolate Awards, in the beginning nobody knew about them at all, but as we've done the markets, I've noticed that people are starting to sort of be turned on to craft chocolate a little bit more, and they are starting to recognize the awards also because we come there with the stickers, and then other chocolate makers coming up and they talk about it. It's starting to be a thing that people recognize a bit more. There's more people buying craft chocolate and looking at the bar. So I think it's definitely something that we all do together, all the makers, and now what you're doing with the festival. I think it all helps to grow the awareness.
But we need to keep doing it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. This is a lifelong.
And do more.
We're doing our best.
Yes.
This is a lifelong.
I'll come back to you and ask you for more. Don't worry.
Thank you.
Yes, please do.
So let me start with the next bar. I just opened the Malignon 68, and the first thing I want to show is just this is a chocolate, and this is the last one we had, the 64, so you can already tell a difference.
And the 64 is probably around, I don't want to give the recipe away too much, but it's around 50% cacao and the lighter bar is 68% cacao, and it's so
Yes.
light.
That's why I'm showing it.
Thank you. Yeah, it's so light, and that speaks to the Peruvian cacao. We're using pure national, and let's say
Marañón.
Marañón. About 40% of the beans come out blonde and come out white, which is very
Yes.
unusual.
So the beans are coming from the north of the country.
That's right. In the foothills of the Andes, a feeder canyon for the Amazon, very old and ancient terrain, extremely remote, and these trees escaped the disease that ravaged the rest of Peru, South America, really, in the 1910, 1920s, 100 years ago.
Yes. Yeah.
Extremely remote, and these trees survived.
Yes.
Rediscovered by mistake, father and son looking for fruit to feed the miners. They come across these unusual looking trees, and they had them tested. So leaf samples, cacao samples, sent off to USDA for genetics analysis, and it's an exact match to a pure national. Presumed extinct for a century, and now coming back from the dead. Eric Reipert, fantastic, world-class chef, got excited with the bean. Anthony Bourdain joined his little project for the bean, and were the first to put significant money into the project. And a year after Anthony Bourdain got involved, we took our first shipment of half a ton. Extremely temperamental, extremely delicate, intricate, complex, like absolutely beautiful in every regard, but an absolute nightmare.
It's difficult because when you make this chocolate, it does have a will of its own. And we made a bar, and I thought, oh, this is beautiful. And we came back a week later, and it just completely changed. And it's a very difficult bean to work with in that respect, in trying to balance the flavors. And it wants to change all the time. So now we found a roast where it's good and it ages beautifully. So. So that took
it has wonderful honey notes.
Honey, thank you. You have raisins, almost a currant bun. There could be a white flower. I'm thinking of a very delicate flower with tiny petals.
It's funny, and that's sometimes when I'm tasting something, also I get pictures of what it could. I have no idea what the name is of what I see, but I'm getting pictures in my mind, and I just have to describe it.
Really interesting. Do you think you're making them up, or do you think that could be memories?
I think, well, must be memories somehow, because I don't know if you can make up something. I don't know.
Like in a dream, you put known things together, but you make sort of sense of it all. Maybe. I don't know.
It's very smooth chocolate, and there's more cacao in this than the many 75% bars. There's more beans. More beans.
No astringency, a little acidity, but nice acidity. No over roast, so nice roast. Yeah,
almost
also
impossible.
Very nice bar.
It's almost impossible to roast this bean, and it's almost impossible to create this bar. It's made by hand, as I said in the previous chat. It's so viscous. It's hand tempered.
Yeah, it's really, really viscous. When I put it in a bowl, the chocolate, it almost stands up on its own. I can't get it. Like the chocolate is very liquid now. It's difficult, and when you spread it out, it's heavy. It's hard on your arms.
When you sieve the chocolate, it kind of sits in the sieve.
Yeah, it just sits there.
It just sits in the sieve. Yeah. You have to push it through, and then you can still see the grid of the sieve in the chocolate in the bowl. It's an incredibly unlikely chocolate.
Yes.
It's so unlikely, this flavour.
I love to eat it. It's not my favorite to work with, temper, but it's nice to eat. And because we don't add the cocoa butter, you might want to sit a bit closer. Because we don't add the cocoa butter, it melts very slowly. But I think it gives you a longer journey into the chocolate because it's lower on fat because we don't add any fat at all.
We've had people call this chocolate annoying. Yeah, amateur judge.
Maybe it's annoying because it sort of, I think it forces you to sit down and relax if you want to be able to enjoy it.
Exactly. She had a cup of coffee in her hand at the time, and I said, you need to give it a little bit more time. Just a few more seconds, just to enjoy it. Give it some attention.
We were outside as well, and it's always hard. Some fairs you have a nice temperature, but sometimes at fairs it's a little bit cold outside. And since this chocolate takes longer to melt, and you're outside, and you're a bit cold, and it all takes so long. And like you said, you need some patience. I think
it's about prolonging pleasure. And when was that ever a bad thing?
Yeah, but it's good. It calms you down. You get a longer journey into the chocolate. So I think it's very positive. And you can really go from one flavor to another, to another, to another.
And maybe you can have a nice cognac or armagnac with it. I'm not sure about whiskey.
It pairs really well with whiskey. We used not so much a smoky whiskey, but a fruity whiskey. We used an Australian whiskey called Starwood. We used to sell the Nibs bar. That we had to stop because we had no space left in the bars room. We couldn't store the bars that particular time. Fruity whiskey, fruity brandy, coffee, and a few other things we're trying at the moment. But it seems quite flexible. It goes well with wine as well. We're selling plenty to a wine canned wine in Bristol. Enjoying this Marignan as a pairing with some of their reds.
Yeah. Okay.
Would you like to try the unroasted?
Do we have much time? Have we got left? 2 minutes?
Hello everyone.
3 minutes?
Can I say something about National?
We are already above the time, so I'm afraid we cannot do it now. But I'll get back to you, and I think we'll do more of those online tastings.
Yeah, absolutely. We're happy to help, always.
Yeah,
it's really good fun to try the 70 straight after the 68.
Okay, but as I just said, we cannot do it now. The next person is waiting.
Well, hey, thanks so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I did enjoy it. I'm enjoying your chocolates, and I hope we'll be sold out soon. And can we ask, are there any more questions? Not at the moment. If you have some questions, write to us. We will get back to you.
I have a question if there's time.
Yes, quickly, Martin.
Well, just to say, and that's happening in the chat as well, very quickly, it's not a question, it's a correction.
Thank you.
National, well, Marignan is a very important place in the history of cacao without question. We know that in the archaeology, and that's a very important find, but it's generally accepted now. That's certainly not the only pure National, as I think Mabel and Samir, who are in the conversation, would agree with. And the genetics have shown that as well. The same testing at USDA has found other pure National, not least in Piura, and in Ecuador as well. So I think it's just because we're all about, clarity and consumer understanding, not putting that cacao down at all, but I think just sort of being correct on the message. It's not the only pure National. It's a great marketing story, but let's kind of be accurate. It's right about the disease in Ecuador, but that was in Ecuador. And it was not Peru. And we have it in Colombia, we have it in Peru.
I didn't want to allude to that in the verbal introduction today. The packaging still, it's 6 years old. 5 or 6 years old. The packaging's old. We are finally out of these boxes, and we will be making that clear in the new boxes that we're having printed.
And for everyone else, you know, I'm a fan of Solkiki, so it's.
Well, likewise. We're fans of you, and we love being corrected. Nothing
it's fine,
better.
absolutely fine. No, thank you for putting us correct on that one.
Sorry for that.
No problem.
Sorry.
How else do we learn? We need to learn.
It's fine. Yeah. No,
Yes.
but thank you for having us. It's a great honor to be part of this chocolate festival.
Well,
Hopefully,
thank you
many more to come.
for being here, and I think